Hello, my name is Heather. Once again, I do apologize again for last week not having a video up for you. It was not my intention. I don't know where I got that infection from, but it was a doozy. Um, I am feeling better. I am not completely well yet. But for me, the way antibiotics work on me, and this is not how they work on everybody, so don't take how they do it with me with it for yourself. But with me, anytime I take antibiotics, it automatically sends me into a full blown fibromyalgia flare where I'm constantly hurting, I'm sick, I can't eat, I can't sleep. I basically just can't do anything. I'm just completely wore out. It took all I had just to drag myself into work these last week or two. I did manage it, thank goodness. My brain kind of, I call it fracturing. It's where I can't speak right, I can't say the right words. I am just unable to function as a human being. And so when I'm like that, I'm just like, I want to produce quality over quantity. And if I cannot deliver a good video that I feel is a good video, then I'm not going to do it. And for those of you who are asking, here is Miss Onyx. She is getting to be quite a big girl. She does enjoy getting all of her scritchies and all that, and she loves my desk. She's in a playful mood right now. Usually she's a full blown couch potato. But not today. But that's fine. That's her. So, this week we are going to go ahead and pick back up on doing the second to last week of the Crochet-A-Long. Yes, I am still upstairs because honestly, it is easier for me to record up here. But this is the bag that we are making, and I just completely took out my whole pile of orange squares. Go me! So this is the bag we're making, and it's got just a simple little grab handle like here. It is as wide as 4 rounds, granny square, and all that. So today we are going to be making the side squares. I'm going to show you how I did these and that's it. That is all my goal for this one because honestly, by the time we get done with that, it's probably going to be 30 to 40 minutes, if not longer. I'm trying. I promise. I am trying. But so we are going to make. I'm watching in the computer screen and I'm getting all confused as to which direction I'm supposed to be going in. So we are going to make this multicolored square right now. I got to remember an opposite. We're going to make this square right now. I am hoping that you have got most of your other squares done because here are my 8 gray squares and here are my 8 orange squares, and then on top of each of them is the cluster of the dream square. Um, Honestly, I don't know how soon I will do another Crochet-A-Long. What I may do is just pick a pattern and work with it through you. I don't know. It's going to depend on how my creative juices are flowing. And lately, they just have not been flowing because we've gotten some ideas, but they're ideas on things that are not, may have more craft with me for a little bit. But I am going to keep up the crochet at the beginning. But I'm probably going to devote each video to a different stitch for a little while until I figure out exactly what I want to do. But if you guys have any suggestions or anything that you want me to do or want me to talk about, let me know. I'm always open to them. So we're going to work with this, make this square today. If you hear a little rah, 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 it's just Dexter. He's on the floor wanting to play, and he doesn't understand why Mama won't play right this second. I also got a new tripod. I know it does not look like it, does it? But I was Facebook influenced. There we go. And my iPhone is so heavy, tripods don't work. So this one is just like a regular stand one. So we will see how this goes. Do I think it's going to work? I don't know. When I tested it before, it did. I think this is like based on that new Olivia one, but it has a light in it, and the light may be dead, but you know, what can you say? So we're going to try this out today too. So let's go ahead and jump into it, and I will be okay. Right back. So now we are basically, as I said, this is basically just the same as the same square that you just did 16 of them. It is this same exact square, same pattern, same instructions. Everything is the same, except I'm going to show you how to change colors every round. Okay? So instead of me sitting here and spending 30 to 40 minutes with you going over each step of this again, we're going to do it a little, I'm going to, I guess you might say, do it the quick and dirty way. If you need me to go back over this one step by step, row by row, round by round, go see the first video. If you have something you don't understand about this square, please contact me. Don't ever think that you're bothering me. You're not. I would love to answer your questions. Oh, yes, I actually did get my nails. These are all done by me. I did place an order with my nail girl. She's making me 3 new sets. And oh my goodness, she's got done with one of them. She's amazing. She's supposed to send me some business cards. So when she does that, I'll make sure to have her have a business card here that you can look. And I'll try to remember to put her link down on the base, down in the bottom. But it's KGC Nails. You can find her on Facebook. She does amazing jobs. These I actually painted myself. I had an inspiration pick and it's like, ooh, I think I can do that. And so I like dark nails. I don't know, but I need to work on my lines a little bit. But that's a whole different story. We're here to crochet, not for me to get off track. So same pattern, same everything. All we're doing is changing colors. So I have done the magic circle and round one. Okay. So now we are getting ready to start round two here. And I want to change the color. Sorry if you heard that. I have a tickle trying to run down my throat. The joys of getting older, you need reading glasses. Okay, so we started this one with orange, and Onyx is actually behaving herself. And see, we had a real fun little flim flam. Is I actually recorded this whole video already and forgot that I was trying to shoot this all in one go. So I did 24 minutes of it with no sound. Yeah. Go me. This is what I'm talking about when I say my brain fractures and I don't think. Okay, so here's our second color. I'm using gray. So you have your main color that you just started with, which in this case, mine is orange. So now we're going to add gray into it. Okay. I don't know why when I picked out the colors, I decided to do an orange gray one. Orange is not my color, but what could I say? On your secondary color or third color, fourth color, whatever color, how many ever colors you want to do. It's not my bag. It's not my bag. It is your bag. Make sure you leave a tail, a fairly long tail. You don't need it quite this long, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to do it. Make a loop, just like that. Hold both of your strands. Okay, pick up your work that you're doing and pull out the onyx hair if you can. In my case, it's an onyx hair. In your case, I don't know. But in my case, it's an onyx hair, which apparently I'm going to need a pair of tweezers for. Yes, I go over all my work with a pair of tweezers to get the hair out. Okay, so drop the main color yarn, just let it hang down. Take your hook, put it in the next stitch that you are going to be joining your stitch together with. Stick that in, and you remember that hook, that loop that we just made out of the secondary color? Grab it with your hook, okay? Pull it through and pull it through the loop, okay? Now, you might need to tighten up your main color, okay? Now, drop the main color, just let it hang down. Keep track of where your tail is, okay? If you want for the moment, just tuck it over to the side. Now, all you do is do your chain 2, 1, 2, okay? Now, I'm going to show you how to weave in your ends as you go. Yes, this is not weaving your ends as you go, okay? But I didn't change colors here. If this was my crochet square that I was doing like this, I would have one end here, one end here, another end here, another end here, and then 2 ends here, okay? I don't want to sew all those in. I am not a big sewer. I'm not a big joiner. I really am not. I don't like doing it. It is not the bane of my existence, but it's pretty close up there. So what we're going to do is our next stitch is this corner stitch right here. Okay. So wrap the hook, insert your hook into that space. Okay. Here's the issue. Here's the fun part. And it's not difficult. It just may feel a little funky at first. Take your tail of the yarn that you just added. Make sure it is over the hook. Okay. Over the hook. Now, I hold it like this so that way that yarn, don't you love double points? That this yarn right here is my tail, and I put it up there so that way anytime I put the hook through, it automatically goes on top of the hook. Okay, now grab the yarn, pull through, and make a double crochet like normal. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, now I'm going to loosen that up so I don't lose my stitch because my hands like to automatically tension things. Okay, now if you look here, this is your slip stitch and your chain 1 place, okay? But if you look right here, right underneath that I just pulled up, that is your tail, okay? You don't want it pulled up. You want to pull it back taut to where it is under the 2 stitches right here that just made up your double crochet, okay? So give that just a little tug. Make sure you don't have to tug hard, just a little bit, and then we will go on like normal. Okay, wrap the yarn around the hook, put the hook into the space. Make sure that the tail is still sitting on top of your hook. Okay, see, it's right there. It's sitting on top of my hook. Grab the yarn and pull through. Okay, and then do another double crochet, and then we'll have a chain 1, and then we have 2 more double crochets. Repeat the same process over again. Okay. Okay, now you have wrapped the tail, you have worked over the tail. This is what's called working over your tails or wrapping as you go. Okay, that's what I call it. I apologize for Ember barking in the back. I may be being joined here in a few minutes. Um, JR, I think, is getting off work a little early today. And I am running just a little bit behind on making my videos. Where's my thing? Okay. Um, no, I don't need the pattern to tell you how to do it, but if I keep the pattern, which is what's on my iPad that I'm looking at, then I won't just go zoom ahead. It kind of helps remember that I'm not doing this at speed. I'm doing this slowly. Okay, this is what I call wrapping the tail as you go. Okay, working the tail as you go. This covers this tail. This means I don't have to sew this in later. Now you've done it for 4 stitches. I recommend personally that you do it for 5 to 6 stitches. Okay. Now, honestly, I will actually do you wrap this tail all the way. I will do 3 whole sides of it pretty much. You can do it the entire way around. It doesn't matter. I personally have never had one of these come out. Um, but on the sheer chance that it does, if you wrap the tail long enough that you can get a needle into it to sew it in later if it comes out, then that's why I recommend making sure you wrap enough of your tail that you can actually sew it in later if for some reason it comes out. But I have thrown mine through the washing machine. I have stretched the daylights out of it, and it has never come apart on me. So now we're just going to continue doing this all the way around. So I will be just wrapping every time you make a stitch. Just make sure that this tail is sitting on top of your hook, okay? And that is how you change your colors. Um, and just continue going around with it. It's nothing fancy. It is nothing spectacular. And yet you're going to have some people who'll sit here and tell you, oh, that'll never hold. It'll never stay. Again, I have not had it come out. And this works with just about any time you need to join a yarn. Now, I will say this. If you do a magic circle, okay, if you do a magic circle and and you're thinking, oh, well, I'll just utilize the same thing for this tail right here. No, this is one area where it does not work. This magic ring tail for your circle has to be sewn in because if you work it in, that's basically all you've done here. This one, if I have any tail that comes apart, it's this tail on my magic circle. And I've tried wrapping them twice. I've tried wrapping them 3 times. They come out. The only way I know how to make them stay is by going over a set of stitches and then back through. I will show you this next week when I show you how I sew in all my ends. Okay, that will be part of next week's video along with putting them together. Okay, so always remember if you are doing a magic circle, you have to sew that one in. Okay, but this is your working yarn from your main color. Just leave it there. It's not doing a thing. Um, Give me just 1 second here. I've got a minor situation. Okay, I realize for you, you probably don't notice that. You may not notice that I left, other than the fact my hands and things have moved. Sorry, the dogs were chasing the cat, and that's not allowed in this household, so I had to fix that situation. So I do apologize. So as I was saying, this joint, this working, wrapping as you join will work even if you're just adding another skein of the same yarn on bigger projects. Do it this way. It's so much easier. You can even do it with 2 strands down here. I personally don't notice it in granny squares or whenever I'm working. I don't notice the fact that the yarn is wrapped around 2 yarns or even 1 yarn. But that's a good way to cover up the end of the one skein and the start of the next skein. So just as you go through here, every stitch that you make, just make sure that that tail is sitting on top of the hook, and that's it. I'm going to show you one more time once I get back over to where I'm ready to start the orange again. I'm not going to leave you hanging on just showing it to you once and hoping you've got it. I'm going to show it to you again. Um, and by no means do you have to do it this way. You can do it the normal way of where you know, cut and start all over, start a new skein. This is just my way of doing it to, you know, make it. Why does my thing look weird? Oh, why make it easier? Let's see. I did start again. Yes, I did. See, I had recorded this whole video, had it done, but in the previous time, I had to make a stop and I had paused the recording and I never remembered to turn it back on. Oopsie. Now, see, I have actually wrapped this tail the entire way around. Do you have to do that? No. I did it just because I know that this is going to be used. Oh, it's midnight. Yeah, I record these late at night on Monday nights, so you're hearing the cat's automatic feeders. Um, I record these on Monday night, as you probably know if you've watched me before, because that's the day that JR works and I don't. Okay, so now that we're back here, I still have one more double crochet to do right here. But if you notice, this is very loose. That's okay, that's normal. All you got to do is pick up your main yarn again, give it a little tug, and it'll tighten right up. Okay, now let me put that last double crochet in here. Okay, now I have my gray and my orange. And if you notice back here, and I can snip this off because it's not going anywhere. Now, if you notice back here, I have 3 yarn things hanging off. I can't work the yarn like that for this one because this is my magic tail, magic circle tail. This is my main color right here. It is still attached down here to the bottom to where I stopped using the orange and started using the gray. And here's my gray that is the one that I'm currently working on. Well, now I want to change back to this orange. So we're going to basically do the same thing that we did down here. We're going to do it up here now. Okay. But we don't need to create a loop on this time. All we have to do is pick it up like we are going to be working with it. One quick thing. Your brain is going to tell you, if it's anything like mine, your brain is going to tell you that you need to put the orange yarn over the top of the gray yarn, you know, to supposedly tie it down. You don't need to do that. In all on actuality, since we're going to use this gray again, by doing that, you're going to put pressure on this orange one. So if it's like this, you're going to put pressure on it when you pull it up to do the next row. So what I like to do is I'll stop and I will move my gray yarn to where it is sitting on top of, I will move my secondary yarn to where it's sitting on top of the color I am getting ready to start. So I'm getting ready to start the orange. So it's sitting on top of the orange and it just hangs there. That's all it does. Give it a little tug. So now just go into your first stitch, grab that yarn, pull up and pull through. Now, if you notice here, it got very big and it really wasn't supposed to, but it decided to. So I just grab that yarn, pull it taut, and it's back tight, and then chain two. Now, we are not stopping using the gray. We're going to use it for another round. So we're just going to leave it hang there. It's going to do nothing for this entire round. It's just going to sit there and just go nah, 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 and just let it sit there. Don't even worry with it. Just toss off to the side. Okay. So now you just start working this round just like you would normally. You don't need to wrap anything. You don't need to do any of that. Okay. Because we are going to go back and use that. Okay. Jared's going to come home and find out that I've only managed to get one load of laundry done. And that was my job for today, was to get laundry caught up. I've got about 7 loads downstairs. Yeah, that's how bad I've been feeling. Um, I honestly don't know why I showed you what I looked like today, because honestly, in my opinion, I just look like death warmed over. But I guess you just get to see the good and the bad. um, when I get through here, I'll show you how to join the next round and how to cut this one off and wrap it as you go. Um, so that way you have, by the time we're done, you won't be the only main colored tail that you will be sewing in is going to be your magic circle tail, because we will have everything else handled, so to speak. Now, like I said, you can do this in as many colors as you want. The choice is strictly up to how many times you want to join yarns and do it. You can make this pattern as big as you want. All you have to do is add more rows and columns of squares, or add more rounds to your squares. I've done some where I have done the sides as little squares, like 4 rounds around, and then my front was a giant one big square. This is strictly up to you on how you want to do it. This is your bag, not my bag. If you see a little orange paw, that's just Toast telling me he's finished eating. Good boy. Thank you. When I rescued Toast, his owner told me that he was not a lovey cat. He only liked attention every now and then. Apparently, every now and then is 24/7. I mean, she provided him a good home. That's not what I'm saying. He just did not get along well with the other cats that she had, and he was a low man on the totem pole, and he just wasn't happy. And so she knew she had to rehome him. And so I rescued him and took him with me. Almost there. Onyx, as you fully well know, was found outside of our house in the bushes. JR found her. and she was not weaned yet, but the vet said that she was probably just maybe a week away from weaning. But for like the first week, she was eating mush, which, trust me, that brought me back memories that I don't really ever want to do again. I've raised baby kittens. It's not something I want to do. I love them. They're adorable, but I don't like having to teach them litter box and all that stuff. Teach them how to hunt and all that wonderful stuff. Okay, so now I'm back at the beginning. Okay. Now, here we are again. So this time, I'm through with the orange. I don't need it anymore. So all I'm going to do is take my length that I want to keep, which I'll keep about that much. And apparently my scissors just decided to go, nope, there we go. Okay, so as I did earlier, pick up the gray, or your secondary color, slip stitch into your first stitch, chain slip stitch into it. Okay, now chain 2. Now double crochet in the next stitch, making sure your tail is over the top of your hook. Okay, and keep doing that over the top of the tail all the way around. And JR has left work. I apologize for the little black paws. Miss Onyx is learning what yarn is. And I don't know if you'll be able to see or if I'll be able to move it. And so she is determining that she wants a very short lifespan. Go play with toast. She's determined she wants a very short lifespan here. I'm teasing, but yeah, she brought me a whole skein of yarn the other day. It's like, Mama, look what I did. I caught this for you. You know, I'm sure that skein of yarn put up a big fight. Don't worry, all of my good yarn, that is the expensive, you know, one of a kind situations, she can't get into. I don't like how that float up there's looking. She cannot get into. That's all downstairs in boxes. So JR is on his way home, so we're going to try to hurry this up. And plus, we're at 27 minutes. There it is. Oh, I know what we're going to do next. I'm going to try to teach you how to do agami, or those little stuffed animal like things. That's what I'm going to do next. We're going to make a ghost. So next, so the last week of the Crochet-A-Long, I will probably put out a extra video going over what materials you will need for that. And it's pretty much going to be crochet hook and yarn, scissors, and a stitch marker. Because I'm not going to have safety eyes or anything in this. We're going to sew them. So basically, this is all you have to do in order to do these squares. And see, you've already got a square, a multicolored square going. It's just basically continue going around, covering up this tail as you go. And like I said, I could snip this here and it would be fine, but I don't. I just usually work over my tails until I get done till they're covered completely. That's just me. So that is all we're going to cover this week. More onyx hair. But this is basically it. I need you to make 9 of these. And the way that I have done them is I started, let's see, I need see, I do need 9, isn't it? 9? Let me count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so basically, you need 9 of them, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of them that start with pink in the middle, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of them that start with the gray in the middle. Excuse me. Since it is an odd number, you will not have equal amounts of them, but that's just how I choose that. So that is all I have for you this week. If you next week we will start, I will go over sewing in all of your ends and so how I sew in my working my magic circle tails, and we will go over how to join these all together to create the front, the backs, and then the sides and the bottom. Okay, so happy crocheting, and I will see you next week.